Osseo will get the dunk at the buzzer. For the 8th time in school history, a Maple Girls softball team is going to state. Hello and welcome to the first Sports Jam of 2020. I'm John Jacobson.
I'm Jay Wilcox. This week on the show, some good matchups in girls and boys hockey. We'll meet a hockey and soccer standout from Wayzata in our Sports Jam Spotlight.
And I'll talk with former Osseo football coach Derrin Lamker as he moves into the college ranks with Augsburg. But first, boys basketball. After a 1-2 start, the Hopkins boys basketball team had reeled off 6 straight wins coming into their game Friday with Champlin Park. The Rebels have been up and down early in the season and were 4-4 prior to meeting the Royals. Hopkins guard Cornell Richardson with a nice bounce pass to Elvis Najee for the dunk as Hopkins gets out to a fast start. It's 8-2. Kerwin Walton had the hot hand shooting for Hopkins. He scores 13 of his team's first 17 points, and the Royals are up 17-7. Dylan Gachaba played well off the bench for the Rebels. He hits a 3 to pull Champlin Park within 8. Gachaba scored 10 points to lead CP. But Hopkins scores the next 9. Regan Merritt fouled as he makes a 3-pointer. He scored 12 first-half points. The Royals lead by 20 at halftime. Early second half, Richardson forces the Rebels into a turnover. It leads to a fast break layup for Walton. And he's fouled 2, 25 points in the game for Walton. It's 47-21. Jared Walter hit a couple of threes in the game for the Rebels, including this one from the corner. But Hopkins leads comfortably all night. They win it over Champlin Park 78-41. Park Center's boys basketball team faced a tough challenge to begin the new year. The Pirates met Class 3A power Minnehaha Academy in a game streamed live on ESPN3. And Minnehaha hands the Pirates their second loss of the season, taking control early and winning 89-68. Jalen Suggs had 25 points to lead the Redhawks. Dane Danger scored 22 to face Park Center.
In girls basketball, a dominant Hopkins team often has trouble finding enough competitive non-conference games. The Royals have some interesting teams on the schedule, including Friday when they hosted Aquinas from La Crosse, Wisconsin, the 2-time defending Division IV Wisconsin State champs. Taylor Woodson goes into Maya Najee and she goes to work inside, scoring for a 12-4 Hopkins lead. Nunu Agara throws the skip pass across to Elena Contreras for a 3 from the corner. Contreras scores 9 in the game. The Royals go up by 11. Aquinas battles back though. Kayla Barr goes cross court to Lexi Donarski for the corner 3. They fight back within 25-20 with that hoop. Hopkins takes over from there though. Paige Beckers dribbles baseline and zips it across to KK Adams for 3. Adams scores 24 in the game. The Royals take a 52-32 lead into halftime. Second half, and Woodson weaves her way to the hoop for the layup on her way to a 22-point outing. The Royals have a lot of weapons. They go inside to Najee and then back out to Adams for 3 more. Hopkins stays unbeaten with a 78-57 win. They start late conference play this week.
The Wayzata girls are ranked 4th in Class 4A, with their only loss coming against number 3 Park Center. The Trojans looked for another win as they hosted last season's 4A runner-up Stillwater. The Ponies are good out of the gate. Liza Carlin hits a 3 for a 15-9 lead. Wayzata comes back. Annika Stewart's 15-footer gives the Trojans a 1-point lead. Mara Braun's jumper is short, but she follows her own miss and scores for a 31-27 lead. Amber Scalise gets the steal and basket, and Stillwater is up 34-33 at halftime. Second half, Jenna Johnson powers in for the hoop, and the foul. Free throw makes it 44-all. But Carlin gets hot from long range, and the Ponies start to build the lead. Carlin scores 20. The Trojans keep fighting. Stewart hits the turnaround jumper for 2 of her 23 points. Then Braun runs the break and finds Johnson. She finishes to make it 63-all with less than a minute to play. Wayzata's up 2 with time winding down, but Grace Coding nails a 3. Stillwater goes up 66-65 with 8 seconds to play. Last chance for Wayzata. Johnson drives and misses. Stewart gets the rebound and is fouled. She hits both free throws, and the Trojans win 67-66.
In each of the past 2 seasons, the Maple Grove girls basketball team has lost to St. Michael Albertville in the regular season, but then beat the Knights in the Section 8 4A final. The teams met up Friday in an afternoon game at STMA. And it's all Knights early. Mackenzie Kramer pushes it up court and sets up Vanessa Alexander for the layup on a 7-0 St. Michael Albertville lead. 5'1" sophomore Emma Miller is fearless. She scores on the runner off the glass, and it's 12-2 Knights. Miller scores 11. Maple Grove is ice cold in the first half. Abby Schulte drives for the scoop layup here, but they trail it 20-6. Quick passing by the Knights leads to an open 3 for Kendall Cox. She scores 15 total. The Knights are up 29-8 at the half. Second half, and Tessa Johnson attacks, scoring with the floater on her way to a 13-point game. Maple Grove plays better in the second. Schulte finds Jordan Lamker alone for 2 of her 12 points. The second half is pretty even, but the Knights' dominant first half is too much for Maple Grove to overcome. St. Michael Albertville rolls to a 58-38 win over the Crimson. Now to boys hockey, where Armstrong Cooper is now in Class A. The Wings faced a Section 2 opponent Saturday as they met Breck. A turnover cost Breck as Ben Anderson gets the steal, fakes the shot, and then buries the backhander under the crossbar for a 1-0 Wings lead. We jump ahead to the third, and Breck on a power play. It's around to John Blake, and his shot is tipped in by Zach Sinopel, and that ties the game at 3-3. A couple of minutes later, it's Carter Tyson walking in off the wall, and he sets up Bo Cornier for a tap-in, and Breck grabs a 4-3 lead. The Wings answer as they cycle it down low. Jack Campion sets up Anderson for the goal, and it's tied 4-4. This one goes to OT. And that's where Breck wins it. Nick Mikan on the rush, and he flips a quick shot in on the stick side. The celebration is on. Breck prevails 5-4.
Maple Grove's boys hockey team was ranked as high as second after starting the season 6-0. They've hit a bit of a rough patch of late. The Crimson facing Blaine in a key road game. First period, a great burst of speed by Blaine's Jack Ryman around the defenseman. He shoots and scores. Less than a minute later, Cole Hansen breaks in. He nets the backhander for a 2-0 Bengals lead. Second period, Maple Grove's William Peeler racing for the loose puck, but it's poked away by Blaine goalie Ryan Wallen. Third period, shot by the Crimson. It's stopped by Wallen, and the rebound deflects wide. Nice patience by Blaine's Carson Richels. He slides it to Hunter Hansen for the goal. Maple Grove falls 4-1 to the Bengals, their third loss in the past 5 games.
Providence Academy went 1-2 in the Bronze Division at the newly renamed Herb Brooks Holiday Classic Tournament. The Lions were back on home ice Saturday to face Minnehaha Academy. A great centering pass here by the Lions' Josh Mogeni to Charlie Peterson in front for the one-timer and goal. That ties the game 1-1 in the first. It's 2-2 after 1. Second period, the Redhawks' Bryce Becker feeds A.J. Bugan with the pass, and he roofs it for a goal. That ties the game at 3, and that's the score through 2 periods. And the scoring really picks up in the third. Providence Academy's James Smith wins the race to the puck and drops it to Brock Jameson for the goal, and it is 4-3 Lions. Later, it's Jameson sweeping a pass over to J.P. Hughes, who rings a shot off the pipe and in to give Providence a 6-4 lead. Number 3, Bobby Hughes scores on a rebound for the Lions' 7th goal of the game. Minnehaha scores too late, but Providence Academy hangs on for a 7-6 win.
Nice win there for the Lions.
Yeah, you score 7 goals, you think you have a little room for error, but nice job to hold off the rally a little bit there too for Providence. Time for a break. When we come back, highlights from swimming, basketball, plus a matchup of top-ranked girls hockey teams.
Welcome back to Sports Jam. Breck is a defending state Class A champion in girls hockey.
Mustangs are pretty good again, too. They're ranked number 1 in A, and they faced the top-ranked team in Class AA when the Andover Huskies came to Golden Valley. Andover's Jamie Nelson is stopped on the rush, but Peyton Hemp picks up the loose puck and sneaks the shot home. Andover leads it 2-0 after the opening period. The second, though, is much different. Allie Qualley carries it up the left wing, and Olivia Mobley gets the deflection as Breck gets on the board. And a nice goal as Hannah Halverson carries it up and sets up Sadie Lindsay for the quick shot and goal, and the Mustangs tie it 2-2. And they are not done. Mobley first backhand try is blocked here, but she sticks with it to score. Breck adds one more in the second to go up 4-2. In the third, Hemp creates the turnover and goes top shelf for an impressive goal. The Huskies are within 4-3. But Breck gets one on a power play as Emily Zumwinkel's slap shot is off a defender sticking in. Andover gets one more, but it's not enough as Breck scores a huge win 5-4. It's Andover's first loss. The Osseo Park Center girls hockey team finished as runner-up at the Armstrong Cooper Holiday Tournament in late December. The Stars were back at New Hope Arena Saturday to face the host Wings. It's 1-0 OPC in the second when the pass comes around to Charlie Sawicki and she buries it to give the Stars a 2-0 lead. Then very late in the second period, they add another as Chloe Lewis sets up Claire Smith for the goal. Osseo Park Center beats Armstrong Cooper by the same 3-0 score for a second time this season.
After having just 2 home games in December, the Benilde St. Margaret's boys basketball team begins January with 4 straight contests on their home court. That stretch started Friday as the Red Knights hosted Blake. Benilde's Derek Standifer hits a 3-pointer from the top of the key to give his team a 15-7 first half lead. Walker Johnson drives into the paint for BSM and gives it up on a good interior pass to Theo Poland for the lay-in, and it's 11-point Red Knights lead. Jasper Liu, it's a tough shot in traffic in the lane for Blake for 2 of his 7 points, but the Bears trail Benilde 35-24 at halftime. Second half, Nick Peterson heads down the lane, then spots Dan Ijata-Mola on the wing, and sophomore buries a 3. Red Knights lead by 16. But Blake goes on a big scoring run, and when Theo Liu makes a 3 from the corner, the Bears are ahead 49-48. The Red Knights, though, would retake the lead. Good passing here results in a basket for Isaiah Smith, who finishes nicely at the rim. Benilde St. Margaret scores a good win at home over Blake, 69-61 the final. Park Center was the place to be for gymnastics Saturday. The Pirates hosted the MGGOA meet presented by the Judges Association. Mahtomedi takes the top spot in the Division I portion of the meet with 144 points. Lakeville North is second and Maple Grove third at 140.225. Champlin Park places sixth. Nadia Abed of Maple Grove wins the all-around with a score of 37.65. In the Division II meet, it's St. Paul Highland Park taking first at 132.1. Host Park Center is third at 124.375, followed by Breck. Osseo is seventh. Lucy Lipscomb of Highland Park is the all-around winner.
Local boys swimming teams had a little break from competition over the holidays, but not necessarily from workouts. Champlin Park hosted a District 11 rival as the season started back up. The Rebels fired up for their meet at home at Jackson Middle School. They're taking on Andover after a Huskies win in the 200 medley relay. Champlin Park's Donovan Duran races to the win in the 200 freestyle. His winning time is 1:53 even for the Rebels. Next up, it's a 200 IM and an impressive showing for Andover's Noah Robb. He wins the race in a time of 2:02.21. That's a new pool record at Jackson. In the 50 freestyle, Andover's Asher McPherson pulls away from the field to win. He later sets another pool record in the 100 breaststroke as Andover wins the meet over the Rebels 95-86. Many local boys swimming teams were in action at various invitationals over the weekend. At the big Maroon and Gold Invitational at the U of M, Wayzata places third in the gold division behind Edina and Omaha Creighton Prep of Nebraska. Breck Blake is 8th and Maple Grove 9th in that top division. No local teams were in the Maroon division, but Hopkins places second in the Bronze division behind Sartell St. Stephen. Osseo was also in that division, placing 16th. And John, a number of local Nordic ski teams were at Giants Ridge for the big Mesabi East Invitational.
The Champlin Park boys placed 6th, the Maple Grove girls 8th at that huge meet at the site of the state meet. Next up in our Sports Jam Spotlight, meet a leader of the Wayzata boys hockey and soccer programs. We'll be right back.
The Wayzata boys hockey team climbed into the state rankings after going on a 9-game unbeaten streak. In this week's Sports Jam Spotlight, Jason Melilllo profiles Trojans senior center Ben Luedtke.
Ben Luedtke isn't trying to make friends on the ice.
You got to stay composed. Obviously, you can't go out there with your head cut off, taking penalties, because that just hurts your team. But I definitely am not trying to like the other team. I'm definitely having a mentality that I don't like them, and I'm just going to work hard because that'll help me win the stick battles, win the puck races, all the things like that. So
Luedtke has box score skills for sure, but the 5'10 senior is mostly a gritty, hard-working grinder. He blocks shots, he draws penalties, he wins face-offs, and he's relentless in the corners and on the wall, rarely losing the battle for a loose puck.
It really sets the momentum of the game for you. And he was awesome this last weekend at home in those 3 games, and doing those things you talked about. Is, he might not have been on the score sheet as much as maybe he wanted to, but if there was a score sheet for plays made against somebody else, or to drawing penalties, or getting us scoring opportunities, or killing penalties and all those good things, he would have been high up on that list.
Luedtke centers the senior line with Jack Kimlinger and Jack Siemens, and they're all hard-nosed players.
we might not be the most skilled line on the ice right now, or the other team might have a really high-skilled line. We know we can outpace them and outwork them. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, we like to think we free up space for the other lines by just making the other team tired and working them below their goal line, keeping the puck in the offensive zone, creating power plays for the younger guys.
I mean, it's honestly a pride thing. You don't see Sports Center highlights on how well I might grind in the corners, but we know that's how our team's going to win. If we can tire out their first line or second line, then I know we have a really good chance at winning. So we just really take pride in what we're doing out there.
Luedtke is one of 3 senior captains for Wayzata, but being a leader didn't come naturally.
I've definitely had to work at it. I know a lot of people might think that you're born with it, but you can definitely learn from it. Honestly started with my parents. They obviously raised me well, and they kind of taught me being a leader is one of the key things in having a really good team. So obviously I've learned from having great leaders before me. One to mention is Griffin Ness. I mean, I've always looked up to him. He was a great captain, really good player at Wayzata, and he's kind of led by example for me. So.
Luedtke was also the captain of the Wayzata soccer team this past fall. Less equipment, no ice, ball instead of a puck, same Ben Luedtke.
I mean, I'm definitely not the prettiest soccer player on the field. I might not have the best footwork, but I'm definitely going to bump you over if you're trying to go for the ball or something like that. But I'm definitely a grinder in soccer, and those two definitely correlate.
Fantastic leader. We've tried something new this year with just one captain because we thought Ben could handle that role, and he did a fantastic job with that. He's one of those players that players just gravitate to. Other players gravitate to him, so he shows tremendous leadership skills.
Luedtke hopes to play junior hockey after high school and possibly play soccer and hockey in college. Interest from college hockey programs is tepid for small guys like Luedtke, but that might be changing.
I think it's flipping, to be honest with you. I think if you look at the NHL and college, I mean, there's these smaller athletic guys with good hockey sense and grit are getting opportunities. So, yeah, to answer your question, yeah, I do think Ben has an opportunity to play somewhere.
I mean, lack of size definitely doesn't help my case. But I honestly think it's helped me grow as a person and helped me work harder throughout my entire life. So I hope that maybe a coach will see past my size and be able to see my work rate and see that I'm a leader on the ice and that they can maybe give me a shot.
Before that happens, Luedtke wants to play for a section title and go to the state tournament. What high school player doesn't? If Luedtke and the Trojans keep grinding, they might get there.
Wayzata's unbeaten streak came to an end last week, but the Trojans are still 8-1-1 in their last 10 games. They're at St. Michael Albertville on Thursday night and then host Buffalo on Saturday. John talks football with new Augsburg coach Derrin Lamker when Sports Jam returns.
Welcome back to Sports Jam. Armstrong High School graduate and former high school coach at Armstrong, Osseo, and Edina, Derrin Lamker joins us, and he is now the head football coach at Augsburg in Minneapolis. First of all, congratulations. You go to your alma mater and a college football coach again.
I'm really excited. It's like I'm back home. When I got down there, it was just smiles all over, and I knew a lot of people, and just to be back in the college atmosphere. And I coached there for 4 years in college, and I really enjoyed it. And to have a chance to go back is just, it's a lifelong dream. And let's hope I can retire there.
Even though you coached high school for a number of years, how much do those 4 years help you going back and remembering the days as an assistant and as a player there? Yeah,
absolutely. Coaching in college is, I think, imperative for everybody, just to learn something from everybody else. At that time there was 4 or 5 ex-head coaches that were down there, and so I got to learn from each one of them. And having the chance to then go back to high school and watch all these recruiters come in the last 15 years and see what I liked about them and what I didn't, and hopefully build my portfolio of how I'm going to be a recruiter and what I'm going to use from what I learned. So that part has been huge.
The MIAC will be changing soon with St. Thomas their last year. How does that change things for Augsburg and for you as a coach?
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed. I'd love to play the Tommies every year if we could, and we will one more year. And then we'll find a non-conference game, and whatever that is, wherever that is. But that's also a great opportunity to play somebody else, maybe out of state, and get a chance to travel a little bit.
Facilities-wise, how have things changed since you were there?
Oh, it's unbelievable. They still have the one field, and they've changed the scoreboard. The stadium looks great. The weight room is unbelievable. The cardio room, just the meeting spaces, what they've done there, it blew my mind to see it, and just to be part of that now. And I'm so excited for these kids that I recruit and say, hey, look what I went to, and now what you guys get to go to it's a pretty cool thing.
I know you're very excited about this, but it's at the same time, is it hard leaving high school, leaving Edina? You were there for 3 years.
Yeah, it is. It's hard leaving the high school ranks. I miss a lot of those great coaches, and Edina is a fabulous place. Great administration, great teachers, and great students, and great parents. And that was a lot of fun being there. And Osseo was a great time when I was there. Also, I miss a lot of those people. But I'm ready to go to college, and I'm excited for it, and for the new challenges of just working on football all day long and recruiting. It brings a smile to my face the more we talk about it.
How is recruiting different Division III compared to Division I?
Well, obviously we don't have athletic scholarships to offer them, but we can offer grants and financial aid and all these different things, and being able to get the right student athlete, the student athlete that wants to obviously to play football, but more importantly they want a great academic experience, and that's one thing we can offer them. With the Fortune 500 and the great companies in Minneapolis, and just all the chances to go to a Twins game, a Vikings game, and go over to the U of M with some friends. And I just love that experience that I had there, and try to show these other young possible student athletes what the experience they can have.
What's the first thing you need to do as the new head coach?
Well, the first one is meet the 51 players we have returning and meet their families and just get to know them, because they didn't choose me, I chose them. And so I have to make a relationship with them because they're the lifeline. And obviously the recruiting thing, we've already started, emails. Recruiting's changed a lot with, text messages and emails and be able to social media mass send things out. But it's the relationships you build with the players and the parents, and trying to show them, hey, come down and trust me for 4 or 5 years, and we'll get you on track and put you to the next step in your life. And so those are the things we're working on, and building the staff. And the next thing too is we have spring ball. We get 16 practices of spring ball, which I'm so excited that I don't have to wait until August to practice.
Darren, congratulations on the new job at Augsburg.
Thank you very much. I'm excited, and we'll definitely be in the Northwest Suburban working, recruiting these kids, and hopefully getting them down to Augsburg.
And there's Derrin Lamker, the new head football coach at Augsburg.
And a reminder to vote for our CCX Sports Play of the Week, sponsored by Chick-fil-A of Maple Grove. Each week, 4 top prep plays from the previous week go up on our website. Go to ccxmedia.org, click on the Sports tab, and then go to Play of the Week. And here's last week's winner, Charlie Warner's shorthanded goal for Benilde St. Margaret's boys hockey in their recent game against Wayzata. It's the closest vote in the history of our Play of the Week. He won by just 4 votes out of 2,700 cast last week. Congratulations to Charlie. We'll be right back.
Mark Friday, February 7th on your calendar for the District 279 Foundation Gala. Find out more at ccxmedia.org under cities and in the community.
Looking for local? Even more local? CCX Media gives you the option to connect with your community on multiple levels. CCX Create welcomes you, community residents, to connect and experience television in an exciting way. The free TV classes we offer will have you on your way to creating TV, and our wide variety of content can be watched at home or on the go. Connect to what's happening in your community. Visit ccxmedia.org.
Don't miss the Maple Grove Polar Plunge to support Special Olympics on Saturday, February 1st. Find out more at ccxmedia.org under cities and in the community.
Our game of the week is a good matchup in Northwest Suburban Conference boys basketball as Park Center visits Armstrong. Watch the game live Thursday at 7 p.m. on CCX, or catch the replays Thursday night at 10 or Saturday at 10 a.m. and 7 p.m.
And that's all for this week's show.
Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time here on Sports Jam.